Come, let us explore the hidden enemy of our meditation practice. The answer to the opening question, the opening proposition, can be found in the 20th passage of Prahe Vajra's vast expanse of the diamond-like mind, considered to be the first text teaching Hatha Yoga, or the Swat Valley what's the word I'm looking for? Reformation of Buddhism. Here's my intention, that we together as a team relaxingly recite this passage 4 times, and in between each repetition I will give an explanation. Together. Whoops, wrong button. Emaho, oh how wonderful. The sphere of experience of the Buddhas is not a place to be found by searching. Unlike the phenomena of the 6 senses, it is not an ultimately graspable object, for those who actively search for it are like the blind reaching for the sky. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. All right. So, as I often remind you, Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, but no, not in the fun, tingly way. What could Sturgeon's suckiness look like? It could look like Yang's religious or irreligious patriarchy, wherein people are taught it's a virtue to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. When we are rigid, when we are fearful, when we are controlling, we are prone to strive to make things happen. In fact, that's slipped into our contemporary philosophy. Who can forget the Ryan, what's his face movie? About the NPC, the non-playable character who would say, everybody, don't have a good day, make it a great day. Although that sentiment is innocent, it does reflect a controlling tendency. And ironically enough, people bring that into the practice of meditation. You see, the Buddha's path is the opposite of this. Yin's spiritual matriarchy, or Yin's secular matriarchy, is about being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. And this is best illustrated oopsie, wrong button. This is best illustrated over yonder. every time so this whole idea of concentrating and forcing and striving comes, what is the product of us relying upon our medial prefrontal cortex and our dorsal lateral prefrontal cortex. However, doing this exhausts our prefrontal cortex and triggers our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, which is pretty much the opposite of peace and love. However, every time we inhale, our sympathetic nervous system, ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord, is already wired to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is the opposite of making it happen and forcing it to happen. And what it's all about is letting it happen. We're already wired to notice. But what do we do with that which we notice? We meditate. You see, every time we exhale, thanks to the parasympathetic nervous system, divided between its lower third and the upper third of the same spinal cord, our parasympathetic nervous system is wired to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Or I should say, it helps us to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even less graspable. Now let's return to the text. And together let us recite it a second time. Emaho, oh how wonderful! The sphere of experience of the Buddhas is not a place to be found by searching. What is this experience of someone who is not a Buddha? It is one of resistance. What is the experience of a Buddha? It is cooperation. It is a cooperation with our latent tendencies to vulnerably notice and physically relax and mentally release. And here's the great irony. We don't get there by actively searching. And I know this. I made this mistake for a very long time. I was taught to make that mistake for a very long time. So since most of us are raised in a culture that lauded controlling tendencies, there's a way we can satisfy our controlling tendencies by relinquishing them. What's that? Simple. We can silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this each time we feel the air enter our nostrils, and we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease each time we feel air exit our nostrils. That is the key to effortlessly finding the place of noticing and relaxing together. And like the phenomena of the six senses, it is not an ultimately graspable object. For those who actively search for it are like the blind reaching for the sky. Every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. Now, any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as useful as it is relatable. So we have to ask the question, what is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast, empty void? The answer is right in front of us. A real-world example of a non-graspable vastity void is the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is actually non-graspable to the hand. Together. Emaho, oh how wonderful, the sphere of experience of the Buddhas is not a place to be found by searching. So Emaho is kind of like the way a member of an evangelical Christian congregation, instead of shouting amen, might shout glory. Same idea. Let's continue. And like the phenomena of the six senses, it is not an ultimately graspable object. For those who actively search for it are like the blind reaching for the sky. So not only are our perceptions, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings non-graspable, but that includes everything, including meditation, including enlightenment. When I was in 10th grade, it was my first romantic relationship. And my therapist gave me some good advice. He's all, you can't make her love you, but you can make her hate you. And that was very, very important advice to receive. Similarly, we cannot make our bodies relax. We cannot make our minds release, but we can let them happen by simply aligning our intention with the inner workings of our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, by intending to notice, by intending to relax, passively through the silent and mental recitation of the monosyllabic words, this and ease. We're able to tap into that. Final repetition, let's make it count. Emaho, oh how wonderful, the sphere of experience of the Buddhas is not a place to be found by searching. And like the phenomena of the six senses, it is not an ultimately graspable object. For those who actively search for it are like the blind reaching for the sky. So, way back, I think it was in the 1800s, there was a captain of a slaver ship transporting people from Africa to North America. And he was caught in a hurricane, and he survived it. His ship survived it. And he turned over a new leaf and forsook the role of captaining a slaver ship. In fact, became an active voice for the abolition movement. And in illustration of that, he wrote the song Amazing Grace. A line from that song is, I once was blind, but now I see. And although that was written from a Christian worldview, and this text is written from a Buddhist worldview, the idea is the same. We were raised to think we had to make it happen. We were raised to think that mindfulness and meditation were difficult, and arduous, and took countless lifetimes to master. However, the Buddha taught that it could be mastered in as little as 7 days. And then when we finally rid ourselves of the destructive preconceptions and erroneous so-called teachings. We see how simple and how easy and how pleasant the path is. It is as if once we were blind, but now we see. Like Saul on the road to Damascus, who had a vision, then experienced temporary blindness, and 3 days later scales fell from his eyes, and he could see clearly then. Not only his environment, but his life's purpose. And whether that happened or not, if that's purely allegorical, that's fine. It's an excellent illustration. In contemporary Buddhism, there are two paths: the quick path, or the instant path, and the gradual path. The Buddha taught an immediate path. This week, it can be done. And one of the great ironies of Buddhism is that a good teacher spends time undoing the students' preconceptions than really teaching them that much new stuff. This concludes our first opening lesson. What I would like to do now is shift gears in preparation for our second very brief lesson. It would seem not only in America, but in many countries around the world, there is a return to fascism. And so I wish to recite a short excerpt that could help us with that, help us cope with that. And so this morning, I would like to, together as a team, relaxingly recite the first of 20 chapters of Timothy Snyder's On Tyranny, Do Not Obey in Advance. Together as a team, let us relaxingly recite. Most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like this, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked. A citizen who adapts in this way is teaching power what it can do or what it can get away with. Having completed our second opening lesson, it's time to shift gears. This is Yoda Monday morning. No, so it is Yoda's Monday morning. Come, let us practice. Let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School for more than 30 years. I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So what I'd like to do is shift gears, and I'm going to tap button 9. But I'm also going to open a different text this morning. Please bear with me. Documents. Let's go to D, Dzogchen, D once again, Diamond Mind. Let's go to Let's go to Sedona and let's go to Diamond Lake. Here we go. So welcome to the latest iteration of Diamond Lake Mind Mantra Meditation. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going over here and I'm tapping this button. We shall begin, or let us begin, with Wisdom's warm-up. Excuse me. As we practice Madhyamaka's Yoga of Inconceivability, which is also creation stage, or wisely leaping over pride's obstructions to omniscience, we bring the circumstantial into the path of wisdom as practicing the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Together, let's recite. All circumstances, all lots could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. Why didn't we just stop here? Why did we explore all these similes? Because we are wired to think symbolically. That is how we evolved. We now divide the six-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted between our inhalations and our exhalations. Together. All bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this interpersonal communication or speech. Together. All interpersonal communication or speech could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Together. All minds could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be not graspable to the hand. Sadly, I must away for but a moment. Please bear with me. Thank you for your patience. As we breathe in, we could vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, fleetingly notice mind's antics. As we exhale, we could relax into mind's non-graspable nature. We switch gears now to compassion's fourfold cooldown. Together. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with all follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphorical statements literal, and instead relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. Let us chant an explanation of this six-syllable mantra. Om, I invoke the Vasha diamond-like strength of a thoughtful mind well-trained, supplicating with whom may awareness and release be mastered by all. Upon the tip, of our left little finger, whoopsie, my mistake, yes to that. Upon the tip of our left little finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, palms up in our lap. Well, this is unfortunate. I have to do a quick edit. Please bear with me. I apologize for the inconvenience. For practicing creation stage of highest yoga tantra, or lovingly leaping over jealousy's obscuring emotions, we bring the mental into the path of love, thus training in the second fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. Together. What follows is not a prayer to a real or imagined entity. We are simply using words to guide our own empathetic, kind, loving intention. Together. May all minds of all beings know possess the joyful enlightenment, symbolized by your one syllable seed or bija mantra. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable synopsis of our loving intention. During our exhalation, we could physically relax as best we can while striving to chant 4 repetitions of this 6-syllable mantra per breath. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Good morning, Shivi. One moment. We come to our second collection of 8 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which we count on our left hand, of 12 inhalations, which we count on our right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We keep track of the second collection by using our ring fingers. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. Together. May each being's experience of the interpersonal law of speech now possess the peaceful love symbolized by a multisyllabic horizontal mantra mala. During our inhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable synopsis of our loving intention. And during our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can while striving to chant 4 repetitions of this 6-syllable mantra per breath. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, we could rest the great knuckle, the base of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. We now bring the physical into the path of love, thus training in the fourth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Together, let us chant. May all bodies or forms of all beings know possess great health, symbolized by the enlightened archetype or Yadam Dorje Simpa Vajra Sattva or Diamond Mind. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the six-syllable synopsis of our loving wish. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant 4 repetitions of this 6-syllable mantra per breath. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. As we breathe in, we could vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. As we breathe out, we could relax into mind's non-graspable nature. Upon the tip of our left index finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Together. So now we're going to bring the circumstantial into the path of love, thus training in the fifth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. May all circumstances or lots of all beings no possess very good fortune or boon. Symbolized by the mythic paradise, pure land or vati of a real or imagined Buddha. During our inhalation, we can recite, silently and mentally recite, the six-syllable synopsis of our loving intention. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can while striving to chant 4 repetitions of this six-syllable mantra per breath. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. During each inhalation, we are wired, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. During each exhalation, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are wired to relax into mind's non-graspable nature. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 9 2/3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class, as well as group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.